defence forces have been under-resourced for decades in this country. Minister, it is astonishing to know that Ireland's defence forces could not adequately protect itself from the risk of an attack should one happen. The recent report is probably the most significant report into the defence forces in 50 years. It looks like Minister Comey has inherited a total mess, Minister, from his predecessor, which raises serious questions like, was that predecessor asleep at the wheel for a number of years, leaving you and our state to clean up huge messes with the continuous under-resourcing of our defence force. Also, the Women of Honour revelations, which I may add is now being alleged, and previous ministers knew of these allegations, are being brushed, much of this has been brushed under the carpet. I feel an independent investigation would be called here to see who knows what and when they knew it, as it very much looks like someone sat on their hands on this hugely important issue also. There's 2 women in the defence forces out there. This and other happenings in the defence forces show the height of incompetence by previous minister or ministers, something even that Minister Chambers called out when in opposition a number of years ago. We, the state, are now left with options. The first option, if we are to add some long-waited life into our defence forces, looks at maintaining the defence forces in its current form, but increasing spending by tens of millions of euros on the current budget of 1.1 billion. The second option would enable the defence forces to hire more people and to purchase the likes of radar equipment and military aircraft. This would cost about 500 million extra annually. The third option is significantly increase the defence forces capabilities and would involve the purchase of firefighter jets, which looks like costing 3 billion each year to fund. It is going to be hugely challenging for the government to respond to this report, as we have said, as I have said earlier, due to the previous minister's incompetence, falling miles behind in what many would say is the real world. The recent report was a fine piece of work, but was it because the Russians made a move off our southwest coast that woke this government up? This made our country look weak and sloppy, Minister. And when a few fishermen from West Cork sat down with the Russians, much of the worries off our coast receded. Why, Minister, have we not been proactive instead of being reactive? And on our defence forces. And when talking on defence, why do people like confrontation talk instead, like the West Cork fishermen, sit down and peacefully negotiate a solution suitable to all? It is obvious, Minister, that Ireland could not adequately protect itself from any risk of an attack should any one happen. And in a world out there that at times can be so volatile, no one ever knows when we could well face attack. I genuinely ask the question, Minister, is there a political will in this country to make changes? If you look at the last government and its Minister for Defence, Paul Clough, who did nothing to make changes, so how does this instill any confidence in the public out there that this government will make the drastic changes that now needs to be made? The paltry amount spent to date in this country by our government on the defence has, in my view, left Ireland wide open. What successive governments have spent to date reflects poorly on the priority of defence in Ireland. I don't understand how some commentators are questioning us spending money and why we now have to make a political argument to spend potentially hundreds of millions of euros on defence forces to protect our own people, when much of this should have been spent already down through the years. In the recent report, our defence forces were looked at the same way as 8 other similar countries who have significant investment in their defence force down through the years and who are not falling behind like we have on this island. The issue of pay in the defence forces is once again a historically controversial issue that was left drag on by your predecessors. Minister, many feel the way forward here could be a simple measure to allow the 2 military representatives organisations to affiliate with the ICTU on the issue of pay. It is wrong that military representatives had been locked out of national pay talks for decades, which had led to widening gaps between military pay and other pay. Minister, it would be wrong of any politician in here not to cooperate on spending the necessary funds to bring our defence forces in this country up to some kind of recognisable standards and have this country stand proud with an ability to protect itself if any danger arises. Thank you.